You ever walked into a room and immediately wanted to leave? Not because anything was wrong. No bad smell. No weird people. Just the air felt off. The walls felt heavy. Something about the whole place made your brain go, nope. And then you've had the opposite. You step off a plane somewhere new, it's 11 p.m., you're exhausted, your bag is overweight, and your neck hurts, and somehow you feel more alive than you have in months. That's not magic. That's not Mercury in retrograde. That's your nervous system doing something incredibly specific, and once you understand it, you can't unsee it. Let's talk about why your energy genuinely, measurably, changes depending on where you are. First, the obvious thing that nobody actually thinks about: your brain is not a computer that runs the same regardless of conditions. It's a biological organ that is constantly, obsessively reading the environment. Every single second, your nervous system is scanning. Is this safe? Is this familiar? Is this threatening? Does this feel like somewhere I belong? It's doing this whether you asked it to or not. It's doing this right now. It never stops. And here's the key thing: familiar environments trigger a kind of autopilot. Neuroscientists call it default mode. Your brain essentially goes on screensaver. You stop noticing things. You stop generating new thoughts. You move through your apartment, your commute, your regular coffee shop on full automation. Which feels comfortable, sure. But comfortable and energized are not the same word. When you put yourself in a new place, the brain is forced to wake up. Literally. The prefrontal cortex kicks in harder. Your senses sharpen because the environment hasn't been categorized yet. Everything is potential information. The brain loves new data the way a golden retriever loves a park. It just starts running. This is why you think more clearly on vacation. This is why problems you've been stuck on for months suddenly have obvious solutions when you're sitting in a cafe in a city where no one knows your name. Your brain got a forced reboot and it used the new environment as raw material. Now here's where it gets actually interesting. Not all places reboot you the same way. There's a field called environmental psychology, and it's been quietly doing fascinating work for decades. Researchers have found that things like ceiling height literally affect your cognition. High ceilings promote abstract, creative thinking. Low ceilings push you toward detail-oriented, focused work. This is not metaphor. This is spatial effect on cognition. Natural environments, water, trees, open land, activate what researcher Rachel and Stephen Kaplan called involuntary attention. It's the soft, effortless attention your brain uses when there's nothing demanding or threatening. It's restorative. It actually replenishes your capacity to focus. This is why a 20-minute walk outside makes you better at your job than another 20 minutes staring at a screen, even if the screen feels more productive. Urban environments do the opposite. They demand directed attention. Every noise, every person, every signal is competing for your processing. It's stimulating but depleting. Which is why you can spend a weekend in a city doing absolutely nothing strenuous and come home feeling like you ran a half marathon. So when people say, "I feel drained in big cities," they are not being dramatic. Their attention system is literally running low. But here's the layer most people miss: it's not just the physical environment. It's the social and psychological context you carry into that environment. Your hometown. It doesn't matter how beautiful it is. If it's the place where you failed, where people knew you before you figured yourself out, where the version of you that you don't like anymore was formed, that place will feel heavy. Not because of the architecture, because of the associations. Because your nervous system has 17 years of data attached to every street corner. You walk past your old school and your body chemistry shifts. Cortisol, muscle tension, that specific low-grade anxiety that doesn't have a name but you recognize immediately. That's your nervous system replaying old patterns because the environmental cue triggered them. This is also why some people feel more like themselves in a foreign country where literally no one knows them. There's no social weight. No one has a version of you they're expecting. No one is going to bring up something you said in 2014. You get to just be a person, in a place, with no accumulated context. Psychologists call this the fresh start effect. New environments offer genuinely new psychological timelines. The slate isn't completely blank. Obviously, you still have your brain and your habits, but the external architecture of expectation is gone. And it turns out that architecture is heavier than most of us realize. There's also something specific happening with novelty and dopamine that's worth understanding because it explains a lot. Your brain's dopamine system doesn't actually fire in response to pleasure. That's the popular misunderstanding. It fires in response to the anticipation of reward, and especially in response to novelty, things that are unpredictable, interesting, potentially significant. New environments are dopamine machines. Every unfamiliar street, every new sound, every interaction in a language you're half learning, all of it is novelty. All of it is dopamine signal. This is why the first week in a new city feels electric. Everything is stimulating. Your mood is better. You notice things. You feel present in a way that normal life doesn't produce. Some people get addicted to this, by the way. They keep moving, keep chasing the novelty high, never settling long enough for the dopamine to normalize. That's a real thing. Moving is not a personality. But that's a different video. The point is, the elevation in energy you feel in new places has a neurochemical basis. It's not a coincidence. It's biology. And then there's temperature, light, altitude, air quality, the unglamorous physical variables that absolutely wreck or elevate your baseline state and that you almost never account for. Light alone is extraordinary. Sunlight regulates your circadian rhythm, your serotonin, your cortisol awakening response. People who move from gray climates to sunny ones and report feeling different are not imagining things. Their serotonin is actually different. Their sleep is actually better. Their baseline mood has genuinely shifted because of photons. Altitude affects oxygen, and oxygen affects absolutely everything: focus, energy, sleep, mood. People who go to high-altitude cities often feel euphoric the first day and then terrible for a week while their body adjusts. That's hemoglobin production. That's your blood literally changing composition. And air quality, which nobody talks about because it's boring, has a direct relationship with cognitive performance. Studies on urban air pollution and cognitive decline are genuinely alarming. You can feel sharper somewhere cleaner not because you're on vacation, but because you're breathing better air. Your brain is getting more of what it needs. So when you feel different in a different place, you are different in a different place. Your neurochemistry is different. Your nervous system activation is different. Your hormones are different. Your attention system is in a different mode. The physical environment is producing measurable physiological effects in your body. This matters for a few practical reasons. One, when you feel stuck, the answer is sometimes not to think harder. It's to change the container. Go somewhere new. Even a different neighborhood. Even a different room. The environment is not neutral background, it's input. It's shaping you whether you're aware of it or not. Two, when you're choosing where to live, where do I feel most like myself is not a vague question. It's a real question with real neurological answers. The place that makes you sleep better, think more clearly, feel less anxious, that's not aesthetic preference. That's compatibility between your nervous system and your environment. That's worth taking seriously. 3, the heaviness you feel in certain places might not be you. It might be the place. And the lightness you feel somewhere else might not be escapism. It might be data. Your body knows things your analysis doesn't. And your body has been reading environments your entire life with sophisticated precision, trying to tell you what it knows. The question is whether you're listening.